Well, this is the Morning Thrush, which was composed by James Ennis, Séamus' father. And the tune dates back to the early part of the 20th century because it was entered in to the competition for newly composed tunes in 1913 in the Fish Clore in Dublin. And James Ennis shared third place for the tune. I would love to have heard the tune that got second and particularly first. He shared the tune, the prize, and the prize was £4, so he got £2 for the tune. And one of the adjudicators was Arthur Darley from Belfast. Anyway, it's the Morning Thrush. Now, I suppose I was lucky to have known Séamus and first met him. I met him at RTE at a recording of a TV program in 1971, and I particularly remember it because I was definitely a greenhorn up from the country, and although I had a television program done once before that, which I never saw, but it was my second time, I think, in being in Dublin. Séamus recognised that I wasn't used to this whole paraphernalia of television and television studio and cameras and all the various items going on around, and. But I do recall that he was very kind to me, very kind of reassuring, and said all the right things and hand on the shoulder and well done, Noel, and that you know, sort of lovely, just as I say, reassuring words. And that was in the 1971, I think, Ig Déanamh Ceol. And also on that particular day there was another great player, Dennis Murphy was there. And in a similar way, Dennis Murphy was very, very kind to me, and I do remember them both for that. And then, of course, as the 70s wore on, I actually ended up in Dublin in the late 70s, living. I had taken a house there in Sandymount, and Séamus used to come in to Slattery's pub in Capel Street, Paddy Slattery's pub, on the Wednesday night. Was mostly the night he would come in to play to do a professional performance for the traditional club. And he would stay with me on the Wednesday night, often on Thursday as well, and I'd bring him home the next day. Usually it was the Friday when he would go home, and I was always very nervous of his various little idiosyncrasies in terms of what he would eat, etc. And he's the kind of hours he kept. There was no real planning of a breakfast for him, but I was always very, very alert to be being on call and have the breakfast, which was usually a soft boiled egg, and he would stand over you and with the egg in the spoon and drop it down onto the water, and I don't know, did he count or what, and he said, "It's ready now." And the egg would be so runny, it was embarrassing nearly. I'd always had the plate ready under the egg cup for him anyway, because it just would more or less spill out. And he said, "That was great for the wind." It was great for the wind. I think in reference to for the chest, for the lungs, or raw egg or runny egg. But I would bring him out then to Noel, and we'd always stop in Ballybottom. I think it was in the O'Connor's pub in Ballybottom. We'd stop, and Séamus would have the half-pint bottle of Guinness and whiskey. And he loved telling tales and various rhymes and limericks and very hilarious stuff. Incredible mind for and memory for all of this material. And he had a particular liking for West Clare and generally west of Ireland, where he spent a lot of his time, and he would have stories about the West Clare people and the music and tunes and words to go with the first part of a jig, all of which I wish in the modern times you could record quickly, but I wish I had some means of recording all of that. And this would be sitting with our backs to the window in that pub, I think it was Connor's pub in Ballybottom. And then I would drive him out to the mobile on the corner of the field, opposite where he's actually buried. His sister Pixie was in the caravan beside him, and he was very happy there, he made out. That was land owned by the Ennis family, going back 2 generations before that. In fact, I think his grandfather had come from Scotland and acquired that land, and the farmer had given him the use of the corner of a field, and looking out over the field from his mobile, you'd see the wave of the corn blowing. And to me, Séamus seemed happy there, and Pixie didn't bother him. Only if he needed something, he would ask her to come in, and she used to do typing for him. And he used to do various, he'd handwrite notes, but he would give them to Pixie to type them up. I have great memories of Séamus. Of course, during all the various years at Sculsour Willie Clancy, we were frequently together, and he was an incredible man in music and in all of the knowledge he had of singing, and his knowledge of the language, all of which is well known. You don't need me to be telling you that, but I was privileged, I was honoured, I was lucky in the extreme to have overlapped his life in the way I did, because I was only young when I met him first, but I got to know him and really got to appreciate him for what he was. He was a true genius. So I hope you enjoy that. I have no one to help me with the camera here, so from my kitchen here, I hope you enjoy it, and thank you very much.